Welcome, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Day 2 out of 2. Emotional first aid around the world. Peaceful Heart Network training online in a bunch of different places in the world.
Yeah. So even continents. Yeah. So that's fantastic. So much welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, there we are. So yeah, we're happy and hope that you have had a good week since we last saw you. For you, is it somebody here who is like coming for the first time live on the webinar? Can you just raise your hand if somebody is there for who was not here last week? No, everybody was here. Otherwise, you write in the chat and we know. Okay, great. Wonderful. We have to get through the pictures to see whether you're waving or not. Yeah. So, so I think we have friends here from several continents. So it is like last time. Some are morning, some are evening, and so here in Sweden it is like 5 o'clock in the evening.
And this makes you realize that that it's all illusion.
Okay, Barbara is the first live training. Okay, so somebody's asking, do other people have sound? Yes, I have sound. So Susan, I don't know what happened to you. Do you don't hear or you cannot talk? So you write again. Oh, in Scotland. Yeah, you're happy. I mean, we're happy to see when you write where you're, presenting yourselves. That's wonderful. Yes. It seems most have sound. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. So, hello from Germany. Hello from Scotland. Yeah, that's good. From Costa Rica. Wonderful. And California. Hello, California. And Finland. Hello, Finland. So, yeah, this is great. This is the
sound like the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, it is like North Carolina even. Yeah, that's great. It is a song contest. And Detroit, yeah. London, Louisville, Kentucky, wow. And hello from Germany with sound. Yeah, that's great and good. And Mexico, wow. And Connecticut. Yeah, this is another one from other side of Scotland, the Netherlands. Wow, this is so fantastic. This is magic. And Norway and Scotland and Stockholm. Yeah, that's nice. So it's the same place where Ulf is. Yeah. I'm at least on the Scottish side of Sweden, which is if I go straight west from here, I'll reach to Scotland. So that's nice. Okay. And from Israel with sound. Okay, great. Oskarshamn in Sweden. Imagine. Yeah. So you can continue in New Mexico. Now I hear sound going around sound. So we will start with this clapping exercise. We want to do some repetition, and we also want to ask you to also Africa. Without Africa, we cannot work anywhere. So yeah. So what about it, Ulf? Will you do some clapping?
Yeah, I seem to have a little exciting challenge on the technical side.
Okay. So let me go do for some clapping.
Is my voice picking up on you, or isn't it?
Yeah, it is coming, but it was like coming and going. And David also from UK, I see. Hello from Glasgow. Yeah, so let's go. So some repetition, as we say, both for the tapping and for some more havening, and then this some breathing exercise. I hope we will be able to do. What you think, Ulf? We'll still have time.
I think we have plans for you, and I mean, it's not only getting repetition. We're checking out that you feel confident that you've been trying this out, and also we want to allow you to try a session with each other, so that you actually get a training in doing it.
So we'll do some of what you call a breakout rooms, so that you will meet another person and do this with. Okay, so we go for this clap. So it is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And clap yourself. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Front. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Up. Okay, once again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to your chest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to the front. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and up. Great. Welcome so much. Yeah, so as you remember this power pose, very good. Whatever time of the day, you can hold your hands towards the ceiling or towards the sky, and then look up a bit and put a smile on your face, on your lips, and just look up. And this is a very good position of finding some more strength, or even in times of crisis like we are now. I think we have to look up also to see that there are other things coming, or all the things that we can learn during this time. Okay, good.
Yeah, and if you get really tired really soon, you need to lift your arms a little bit more often.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so what we'd like to start with, I mean, Ulf and myself, we are very super curious to hear what a kind of experiences you have had since last week. So we will do the same. It is like some of you can just write it in the chat if you prefer. And if somebody wants to say something with voice, you unmute yourself and or wave a bit and come out, and we will listen to just some experiences so we get some feedback and know how to, you know, take this further. Anybody wants to start? Yeah, so Donna.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciated last week's session, and I've been using it with my clients, especially those that have had a history of pretty severe trauma. And it has been like, you know, I integrate it with havening and just a real specific TFT. I can't thank you enough. They can't thank you enough.
Okay.
So no, you know, and I don't want to make it just like, oh, you know, but it was so specific, and I was able to integrate it. What I appreciated was able to integrate it easily enough. And again, I just so much gratitude for that round, the TFT round, or TTT round, excuse me.
Yeah,
thank you.
Did you find it different? I mean,
yes, I did, because, you know, I've done rounds of EFT, but there's some sort of, at the end of the round, just this, I want to just say finality, this drop, this easy drop in the SUD. I don't want to say, you know what I mean by easy drop, a complete drop in the SUD. So that was pretty remarkable. You know, thank you. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, thank you so much, Donna. Somebody else? Yeah, there we have, let's see. I don't see your name because it's too small there. Amy, Mud. Yeah, sorry.
Hi, thank you. I have also been using it with my private practice clients, and I work mostly with people who have ACEs, and of course, those get activated anyway, but in this pandemic, it's like everything's, you know, so stressful, everything's activated, and I've really, I mostly do the havening. I'm certified in the havening as well, but it's been able to help me support people in depotentiating some things all the way to the root.
Okay, wow.
There was one person I had to do, and we did it for an hour and a half, because I'm also using it to, when we drop to the 0 SUDs, to put in the nourishing opposite. We tapped it in with the TTT, and that worked really well also. So I'm finding it's very helpful on both ends of that spectrum. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Amy, for sharing. Was there somebody else who wanted to share a bit? I don't see. Let's see. Yeah, there, Marketa, or no, you just.
Yeah, and also in the chat, there are some really, really great stories. And Claudine said that her daughter was in a mental health crisis, and I took her as I have. And when I talked to her, I did TTT. And then on Monday and then on Tuesday, she's feeling much calmer today and is tapping on herself. Thank you so much. And that's fantastic, because this is what it is. It's the tool that you give to somebody so they can continue on their own. And that's the most empowering part.
Yeah. Do you have somebody else who wants to speak? Another one? Yeah, there, Yvonne.
Grab the mic. Don't be, you know.
Yeah, you're already unmuted, I think.
I'll share.
Yeah?
I'll share. I'm waving there.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I've been teaching this for a while, this and EFT, and recently stopped teaching the EFT because people seem to prefer not having the statement.
Okay.
And personally, in my personal use, it seems like adding the finger points
Mm-hmm.
seems to do the trick. And ending here
Okay.
just feels so good. I feel so alive. And the coolest comment was on Monday when someone said, "It's so strange. I want to go sleep, but I also want to go dance."
Okay. Wow, that's nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
I thought that I
At
feel
the
so
same time.
relaxed and I also feel energized.
Yeah. Relaxed dancing. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much, Jean. Oh, that's wonderful. Hmm.
Fantastic. And Roland was saying, I introduced TTT to a 16-year-old girl who stutters. We'll see the progress. Little piece of advice there. Ask her to try TTT when she's alone and talking and looking at a wall, and then looking in a mirror and then talking to a person, because sometimes that can make a very big difference on stutter depending on what is causing it. So
Yeah.
alone in a room, just watching a painting or a poster or something, alone in a room watching herself in a mirror, and then in front of another person. If she does those three with TTT and talks at the same time while she is actually doing it, that can sometimes remove part of the emotional block that stuttering can be.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I think it was somebody else who was waving. Was it? Yeah, Yvonne.
Thank you. Thank you
Don't
all for the input. I will try that out.
Great.
Great.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, so now you, Yvonne, please. So I don't hear you. I don't know if your mic is on. I mean, it is on from this side, but.
Are you calling me because I didn't wave?
No, I'm calling Yvonne in Cameroon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I think we don't hear you, Yvonne, so you have to check out with your mic what is happening. So, anyway, and that's wonderful.
Did you have something? Did you want to say something? You were waving?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I used it with a client last week and she came down after one round. I use usually EFT. And then I belong to a woman meditation group, and one of the women was in a very dark place, let's say it like this. And after the meeting, so I did that with the whole group. And after the meeting, this woman, she wrote me back and said, I went from a 10 to 2. Where did you learn that? So thank you so much. It was so wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and thank you all for trying this out, because that's really what you always say. It is like you have to start directly. So, and some of you already know EFT, Havening, you know already other stuff. So for you, it's easier, to also combine it, because that's what we keep repeating. It is like, we don't say that use this and not other stuff, but try the TTT with whatever you are working with.
Yeah, and also we can also ask you, did you run into anything that you'd like to ask about, or that surprised you, or in any way confused you? And in that case, ask about it also, because this is what we're here for, to allow you to sort things out if there's anything.
Yeah, so just write that in the chat.
Yeah.
So, so what do you think? I showed that intro film. We start with that. So I'm gonna
Great idea.
try sharing a screen while Ulf continue talking a bit. So, and let's see.
Usually with my partner struggling with anxiety due to her childhood trauma. That is great. Last week on a festival, I'm keen on the extended chest massage. The crown pull is new of what I learned with Dr. Holthaus. Yeah. The crown pull we actually did add during the later years. We find it very, very helpful. It's not in the video with Winky, but it works with and without. But add it, try it.
Yeah, so we just want to show you two videos, a bit similar to what we were telling in the PowerPoint last time. It is the width that we see, and we have experienced using this technique. So this is a bit where it all started. Oh.
Now we can't hear the sound. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it seems the sound is a bit low and it's actually on maximum, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so that is one end. Do you want to say something, Ulf, about that? And I'll just get to...
Yeah, I mean, this is where we started out. We started out working with trauma in Rwanda, and that video is a lot from BVS, the Center for Children Liberated from Armed Forces, child soldiers in Congo, where we have been working continuously with our colleague Germando. So that's also where we have done one of the studies together with Peter Stapleton, the author of The Science of Tapping, and one of the people on the earth today with most research studies in this. Very interesting. She has been doing fMRI scans and checking out cravings and done studies with tapping in the schools. So.
Yeah, so that is one end, and the other end is then, I hope there will be some better sound on this one. We will see, we'll end up. So let me see where we have Nora. Here she is. Let's see. She works a bit better.
Hej, jag heter Nora och är 8 år. Och sen så går man upp hit och gör. Sen gör man här. Sen där. Sen där. Och sen där.
Wait, sorry, I have to start it again, sorry.
Hej, jag heter Nora och är 8 år. Jag fyller år den 9 december. Jag brukar göra en slags knackning på natten eller när som helst på dagen jag är orolig eller ledsen. Och då börjar man här. Och sen så går man upp hit och gör. Sen gör man här. Sen där. Sen där. Och sen där. Och sen här nere, runt om på bröstet. Och sen under armhålan, lite upp, ner, upp och ner. Och sen så börjar man här uppe vid fingertopparna. Så, och sen gör man lite runt om igen. Sen 3 djupa andetag. Och det är som man gör, men jag pekade bara för jag har gjort det här med lite så att jag tänkte att jag kunde bara peka hela tiden. Men man ska egentligen knacka och det var det.
Och hur känner du det då?
Jag brukar bli lugnare av det. Och jag blir lugnare av det. Och att jag hoppas att du där kan prova det också om du är ledsen eller orolig. Hej då!
Yeah. So that are, I mean, for us, this represents like the two ends of this. I mean, this Nora, she is a neighbor here in my village. She is now 11 years old, and she learned this tapping from her mother. And she's sitting among all her different toys, and she's going to school. And I mean, for her, she lives a normal Swedish life, you could say. You know, so, and she has these worries sometimes, waking up at night and having challenges, you know. And in the other end, many people of those we have met who have lived through war and have had so much, I mean, high level of stress and trauma. And like one of you said before, it is even with those severe traumas, you can see that how it drops. So it really goes into the system, I mean, into the emotional system very easily.
Yeah. And also there were some questions there from Adara. Do you incorporate havening at the end of TTT, or how long? Chris was asking, how long do you do it with a client? And I was asking, do you mean long during a session or over how long period of time? And like we said last time, I don't know if you remember, we have an answer for every question. Who remembers the answer for every question in the world and can write it in the chat? Somebody please, see if you win the prize. There you go, Don Orion. Yes, it depends. The answer really depends. So one more question was havening. When do you incorporate havening in a session? And havening is something we also showed last time. It's a self-regulating technique that Dr. Ronald Rudin was studying tapping for many years and looked at it, and we all tried it last time. And we can try it again now really shortly, just to remember. So put your hands on your shoulders. And you pull down over your arms like this. We didn't do havening last time. I thought we did because I looked at the video, but maybe I looked at the wrong one. So this is it anyhow.
Then we can do it even more then.
So you pull down, and if you pull down like this, what you will do is, according to the study of Ronald Rudin of depotentiation, once you have activated an emotion, what tapping does, it actually calms down the nervous system. And he found that you could do this, you could get a similar result by doing something else, a different kind of touch. So self-havening like this, or putting your palms together and doing a circular motion, you can try that as well. So we use both. So there's a difference, as you can notice. You can answer for yourself what is the difference for you between tapping and havening. Havening like this with your hands is something which is very easy to do during a conversation with somebody or over the phone. Just tell them, put your palms together and make a circular motion. And when we are explaining, when we're doing, these techniques, we sometimes liken it to the way that you get sound out of one of these. I don't know if you know how they work or if you can hear it. So once you start doing something like this, you generate a tone. And this tone is actually measurable in the nervous system. It's called a delta wave, a brain wave, which is enhanced when you are relaxed. So both tapping and havening enhance this delta wave and increase the calm. So
yeah, and we can say it is a very good, combination, and it's good that you wrote also the website of the havening there in the chat. And for those who don't know, for us, we take in everything that we can use. And Ulf is a trainer in havening also. I have been to workshop for havening. And the way we see it is that they're very good in combining. Sometimes it's easier, just as Ulf said, to do this during a conversation when somebody's having, challenging that you're talking about. But also this havening over the shoulders, we have seen it. Sometimes tapping is not so easy to use. Like, for example, when we have worked in the refugee camp in Lesbos in Greece, where there are many who get this kind of panic attacks. Both young guys, especially those who have come unaccompanied minors, and also women from who probably have been, some have experienced sexual abuse during their journey from their country to Greece. And then to start tapping is not a very good idea. And now in Corona times, of course, you don't do things on somebody, but you can do this stroking or ask the person to do this stroking over the shoulders. It's a very, very, very good way of calming down even panic attacks. So we have been using it there so much. And and finding it, super helpful. And in other circumstances, the tapping is more efficient.
Yeah. So what we will also talk about, which is part of that, is distraction, because distraction can be very, very useful because all of these techniques are, we could call it exposure techniques, because it's when the emotion is exposed that the technique will be potentiated. So you could say, when could you use tapping? You could use tapping in two ways. To calm down and build resilience, like a relaxation exercise. Every time before you go to sleep, you could do a tapping on a child or on yourself or on somebody who is feeling anxious, right? So when you do the tapping on somebody before they fall asleep, it's like washing your hands or brushing your teeth, part of your emotional hygiene, right? That's building resilience and relaxing. But anytime when there is an emotion present that you want to cool down, and it doesn't matter if it was triggered by a noise, by a sound, by a smell, by a situation, by a memory, that's why we call this emotional first aid. Then you can do the tapping, or you can do havening. Now, Paul was asking what was the delta bit. We're not going into the science part today a lot, but the delta bit is about brain waves that are enhanced when we relax. So tapping and havening, and you can read about it in Dr. Bruden's book, which you have been sent the title of. It is called When the Past is Always Present. And you can read about it also in our book. So delta wave is a brain wave which is augmented when you are relaxed. And
yeah,
this
so it
changes a lot of things in the nervous system.
Yeah, it's one of the slower brain waves. I mean, from the alpha, theta, and the gamma, which is the highest. So that is the whole science. Yeah. So let's see where we had the other. For migraines and chronic vestibular migraine. I mean, for me, I have used this. I think we did this head holding last time, didn't we? And that I have found very helpful for all kinds of migraines, Of course, also this havening and tapping, you can just try it and then see what happens and let us know. Because so much is related to stress that in a way, there's never any, what do you call it, negative effect of trying it on something that you think this might be something that is related to stress. Then I would just, see what happens if I do havening or tapping or what it is that one of those tools or the head holding, which is very, we didn't do the head holding last time.
We've been hosting so many online trainings. It's crazy. Of course, you have to get the head holding. It's our dear friend and colleague, Tapas Fleming. This is a whole technique in itself, but it's very, very simple. Now, your eyes, the nerves of the eyes, the optical nerve crosses itself through your brain to the occipital lobe, which is in the back, where sight is processed. So what happens is when you connect these in some way by holding your head, you will actually basically create a massage of the head, of the brain from the inside.
Okay. Yeah, so that is, we mentioned it last time. That's why I remember it was something, because I even wrote it in my notes. So let's just do it now then.
Yeah.
So then we have done havening, and this is another one. I mean, so this head holding is also like a short one of the TAT, tapas acupressure technique, which you can also find on the website that I will write down. So the head holding, so again, you just take one hand over your frontal lobe, so we can do it together now, and the other one on the back of your head. So here on the back of your head, you put the thumb under the skull and the rest of the hand around the head. And here you have the full hand over your frontal lobe. So it is like, sitting like this. And then with this, you can process things when you're sitting like this. And if you have, in these times, if you have somebody that you are living with and that either had the challenge of corona or somebody you share everything with, or after this time is over, you can try it to do it for somebody else. You know, just be cautious. But this is you can do this also while laying down in bed, and no, because then you can relax or put your arms on the pillows or towards the wall, so you don't have to hold them like this. So this is there is a version of it, which is the one that Tapas herself will always recommend, and that is a bit different. So then you put your thumb here and your ring finger here, just super slight, or very super light, and then the long finger like on your third eye between your eyebrows, and still the same with the head here. So these are very strong also acupuncture points for the eyes, and back here is, like Ulf said, the visual center of the brain, where the impulses, what you say, the signals of the eyes will go and be processed. So this is like connecting those two.
And
so this you can also try.
If you're involved in sacrocranial massage, or I mean, there are so many methods that also do similar things like this, right? But what you can do, it's called TAT. What you can do, what you can try, is when you hold your fingers here in front, when you do the 3-finger hold, you hold very, very lightly on the base of your nose where the tear channels are, and very, very lightly on the third eye. And what you can try doing is closing your eyes and letting go so slowly that you almost don't notice when you let go. So you let go really, really slowly with your eyes closed until you are not touching anymore. And doing that really, really slowly, actually, as you will notice, is actually a hypnotic technique as well, because it's, as you are letting go that slowly and concentrating on that sensation, you will go into a lighter trance, and that will also enhance the delta wave. So there's so many layers of things happening, but the techniques are really simple.
Yeah, so also there was a question from Susan about this, but it is like the eye, you know, and the nerve of the eye, from the eye to the visual center, it goes right through the brain. So anything you do with your eyes, that's why there are a lot of eye movements. When I learned TFT, the original tapping technique, thought field therapy, there is also an eye movement exercise. And you know, in EMDR, the original one is moving the eyes from one side to the other, because it affects the brain so much. So if you can just try that by yourself also. I mean, we could, what you say, Ulf? We do some eye movement?
They're getting a cascade of different
yeah. That's what this is for, you know. It is like, so
let's do some eye movement as well.
Yeah, so within the TFT original, there is, you tap on the here between the bone of for the little finger and the one, or is it the next one? It's so long time ago I did it.
You need to bring your hand up a little bit because we don't see.
Yeah, so you tap here between somebody, I haven't done it for so long time. Who knows it?
It is between the little finger and the ring finger, the 9 gamut point.
Yeah, exactly. It's so long time ago since I did it. The training I did in 2006. Okay, so while you do that, you bring your eyes, so you look with your face still, you look up as long as you can. And then you look down as far down as you can. And then you look to the right side as far as you can, still with your head still, and then to the left side. And then you go up to the left corner, and then to the right corner, to the right down corner, and the left. And then you do a circular movement with your eyes. So you go up, side, down, side, up, and then the other way around. So you look to side, down, side, up. Okay. Perfect.
And
good.
This is called the brain balancer also. And what actually everything, remember that there's a lot of talk about bihemispherical balancing, because you have 2 halves of the brain and then you have the frontal lobe. And what happens every time you do a circle, for example, with your eyes that are crossed, you're engaging, if you would do a brain scan as you do that, you would see that you're engaging a lot of mechanisms in the brain to do that movement with your eyes. So that's why it's actually called balancing. And there are so many things happening at the same time that are involved, so many layers of mechanisms. So there are explanation models that claim that this is this or this is that, or the mechanism is this or that. It's not really true, because the answer is a bit more like Bettina was saying before. When you do the second round of tapping, what you actually get is an anchoring, which is the brain is recognizing that, oh, we're doing this again, so the next point is that one, and it feels safety, and it becomes something that triggers a safe feeling. So that's why we're not married to one explanation model. We're more polyamorous. We have all of them.
Yeah, and these eye movements are good, whether you do it with this 9-gamut point or not, and then somebody wrote, and then you do the humming and singing, and that's the whole sequence of from the TFT. But you can also do it like this, or just do eye movements. So that's why we say that we bring in simple things, but you don't, it's not that it always has to be the complete one, but you can do things that are, helpful. If you find them helpful, we use them.
Yeah, and this is the thing. We were also talking about this, that you have a circadian rhythm of your body, right? We're all in different time zones, so we all have different levels of awakeness right now. But more or less, the circadian rhythm, the biological clock of us, goes in like a dolphin up to the surface for resting or getting air every 90 minutes. And if you do a tapping or any of these psychosensory techniques to relax the system, when you are moving up, you will feel refreshed because you're letting go of stress that was holding you down, and you will become higher on your energy peak of the cycle. And if you do one of these exercises when you're actually already moving down into a rest node, where you will be naturally, and you do the tapping, you will let go of tension that was holding you up, so you will become tired. So you can either become, more energized or a little bit more relaxed, depending on where you are.
Yeah, so there is in the chat also, Linda was writing that I love that you make things simple. It's the only way that this can spread to everyone. So because it is like that, because some people say, oh no, it shouldn't be. It's like when we do the tapping on the chest. Within the tradition of some of these tapping modalities, it is like one point. We say that there are other things. There are lymphatic points here. There are muscles. There is, the thymus gland. So that's why we do it all over the chest, and we don't stick to one. And so we do all the fingers. Some say, why don't you do that finger or that finger? We say, yeah, it's good. It's also simple, and it has a meaning on each finger. There is a vibration that, like somebody wrote or said that, yeah, but adding the fingers had made the whole difference. So it is like that. We teach it in that way, and then you take what you like. But it's not that we say that this is exactly how it should be done. No.
Yeah. I mean, there is like the study of Harper that was made looking at what actually makes a difference in creating the calm. What they found was that a lot of interventions over the waist of the body, sending in information, will reach this effect. And some of them will have bigger effect than others because they're affecting different mechanisms. So whether you're doing it a havening or a tapping or a head holding or an eye movement or a butterfly hug, all these are involving different layers of mechanisms, right? But the principle is to relax the body by using input, sensory input, eyes, sound, tapping, and crossing the hemispheres always gives a little bit more of calm in the head.
Yeah, so that's great. Yeah. So what do you think? Should we do some of the tapping again in the breakout room? So what do you think?
Is this the time where they actually go out into the breakout room and set it up? Should we give them a little, just a little bit of setup? So when you're going in and you're doing a session with somebody, first of all, just do it. Whatever you remember of what we've told you, you have enough. Don't worry about doing it right. Don't worry about doing it wrong, because none of them exist, right? And I often tell my clients, you can't be right, you can't be wrong, it's impossible to fail, and you cannot be good at it. So just relax. Okay? And then you tell them, I will, you know, I can help you with something if you want. We can evaluate this together. We're not going through how you're sitting when you're tapping on somebody else now, because in Corona times, you won't be doing that. So usually you just explain that you will be tapping a few points, and then you can ask them to close their eyes, take a deep breath, think about something, and just tell you more or less 0 to 10, an SUD, subjective unit of distress, how much do they feel right now? And then you ask them to follow you. And you go through the points, how you remember them, and the breathing, and the second time. And after that, you simply close the eyes again, and you ask the magical question, what do you notice now?
Yeah, so never afraid. How do you, I mean, more the notice, because it is like we say that, I mean, this kind of noticing yourself, self-observation, that's how you have to, you know, start observing what happens to be able to move from one thing to the other. Because if you don't notice what it feels like, you don't know the next time if something changed. So it's really very important. Yeah, so that's a great point that writes Muriel. That some of the clients are always afraid of messing it up, and then we say that, yeah, you can't, you know, it is like you do your best, and the next time repeat, perhaps you find out, oh, that was the way, but nothing bad can happen. That's the fantastic about this. I mean, we've been teaching it in some places, and then when coming back after some time, because we always, that's part of our policy, our mission, it is to come back, and then you see that, wow, they do it completely different than we thought, but still it works, you know. So it is like that, and so and don't worry.
A little piece of advice here. Just my grandmother always told me, you know, if you want to make an omelette, just break the eggs and start there, right? Something will happen in the frying pan. You know, it might not be perfect the first time, or it might be. So you're going into breakout rooms, which means we will pair you up 2 by 2. One room might have 3 people. You will get 10 minutes to do one session. One person will show the other, and you will help each other if you need to. It's not about getting it right, it's about testing it. Then after that, we will stop the breakout room, and you will come back and see if you have any questions. If everything is fine, you go back into the same room, and then you change and do it the other way around. That way, there is a possibility to ask questions. So you will have enough time to do it. And we will show you again the points. Gunilla?
Yeah, I will show it. And there was a request for showing the points again. So it is like, and we always say, like, first you sit with your spine comfortably erect. So it is like, you know, you straighten up a bit, so your nerves have a good space of moving. You take a couple of deep breaths just to settle yourself. So you breathe in, as we say, with the nose. You breathe in, hold your breath for a little while, and then breathe out. And then again, you breathe in, and then breathe out. So there. And then the points themselves, they're easy. It goes from the side of the hand. So now we just do some few. We say we tap with 2 or 3 fingers on the side of the hand, the one we call the karate spot.
And remember, you could do the SUD if they could have done something before, so that you have a number to remember.
Yeah, so that is good. So you do this SUD first. And then, since you're going to do it with somebody else, you can do it a bit like a theater. So you say, explain, you have learned something that you'd like to try, and could you do it together, you know, to see whether it works or not, or say that that works for me, I have seen it work, so let's do it together. And then you do them there, and then you go for the crown pull. So you show them to do a bit of frontal lobe massage, and then tapping there is the next one, which is just where the eyebrows meet. And then you go to the side of the eyes, just where these glasses pass, you know, these things that hold the glasses on your ears, if you have. And then under the eye, on the bone, the cheekbone. And then you go with one hand under the nose. And then you go with one hand under the mouth. From there, now then what we call the gorilla tapping. It is all over your chest. So, and then you put one hand on your shoulder, and then you tap on the side here, where if you had one or you have one, the bra strap would pass. or not strap, I think, I don't know what it is actually in English anyway. And then you go from there, you go to the fingers. So you start with your little finger here on the upside. So you see I hold the hand like this, then it's on this side, and 10 to 15 times, and then the top of the thumb also. You see now there's bright light here. I'm going to change the position a bit. And then we go back to the chest. And that is because so many find these chest points very helpful. And there is a reason for that. It's also the area where oxytocin is released very easily. Okay, and then you release your arms and then you breathe. So you breathe in through your nose, hold your breath for a little while and then breathe out. And then again, you breathe in, hold your breath for a while and breathe out. And then you do the same sequence again, repeating. Okay, so I think that's fine.
Yep. So Sherry Wallace is actually driving in her car, listening in on this, and she asked if she could be excluded from the exercise. It's kind of, the breakout rooms are already set up, so she's going to see if she can pull over. If she doesn't pull over, be nice to her, and maybe she can talk you through the exercise or jump out back into the main room. If you have any problems, just leave the room, come back out, and I can help you because I'll be out here. Okay, give it a try. You know, my grandmother used to say, if the water seems cold or warm, just jump in and you'll find out.
Exactly.
And one question that came before, Elise Leon, she says, last time you said to use the other hand, is that important? Right now, it is not important anything.
Yeah, because we do both hands.
Whatever way you do it is going to be fine. So don't worry about getting it right. Just
hands, face, and chest. Hands, face, and chest.
Here we go. Good luck. 10 minutes, one way. Do it nicely and relaxed. You're going to be fantastic. So you accept the invitation to go to the room. You will be unmiked, otherwise unmic yourself. So Yvonne, Yolanda, David, Gina, you need to accept the invitation for the room. Ah, Yvonne, you're not assigned to a room, so I will assign you to. You will be joining in a room with somebody else. Here you go. Alice, you came back. Those of you who are here now, is it because you are not assigned to a room or you didn't accept? I can't hear you, Alice.
I was in a room with Rachel Sherrick, and is she the one driving? And she left the room, so I left as well.
Okie dokie dokie. I'm going to room 37 that I was asking for help. Hang in here a sec. I'll be right back. Maybe those of you who are here can do it with each other.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Hi, Ulf.
Hi there.
I think I'm alone.
Ah, you seem alone. I'm sorry.
I seem alone.
Yes.
I better tap.
All this.
I think I need to tap just for that.
Okay, Kathleen. So what room number is this?
37, I think it is.
37? Okay, I'll have somebody join you really shortly. Just hang in there.
Okay, no problem.
Hello?
I can't hear you, Yvonne. Are you muted?
Yeah, I can't hear Yvonne. Okay. So the reason I came back into the main room is that I was alone in room 20. So, yeah, yeah. But I'm good to do it here.
let's
Kathleen
just
in
do
room
it.
37 is alone. She needs company because Yolanda didn't join her. Yolanda's here, but I think Yolanda is not on the other side of that dark screen. Who cares to join Kathleen in room 37?
I'm good with that.
Sure.
Rachel?
Rachel,
I had an issue with my room. My Zoom closed out, so I went back.
Okay.
I was supposed to
invite it to 37. Go there.
Okay.
And Robin and Ellis, why don't you do your exercise here?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yvonne, we cannot hear you, so you will just have to watch, and that will be fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Alice, do you want to be the facilitator or the client? Sorry, I don't mean to use that word, but that's
sure. I'll be the explainer to start.
Okay.
Okay. So I've learned this technique, and do you have some issue or worry that you'd like to put a rating on?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you your issue, or you don't care?
No, I don't care. I mean, I do care. I do care.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Heartless help.
I do care, but I don't need to know, right?
So last night it was a 10. Today it's probably still a 7.
Okay, 7. Okay. Okay, so let's take some deep breaths to start with. And when you're ready, I'd like you to start tapping on the side of your hand. You can use a couple of fingers. I know you're used to EFT, so.
I do several. Yeah. No, it's good.
And then we'll do some little head massage here. Smoothing out the forehead. And then we'll do some tapping on the eyebrow points. And then onto the temple, on the bone by the eye. And onto the bone underneath the eye. Directly underneath where the eyeball is if you're looking forwards. And then just take one hand and go underneath the nose. And round underneath the lip, above the chin. And then we're going to tap all over the chest. And then underneath one arm, you can't see me, underneath there, a few inches underneath the armpit. And then we're going to go to the fingers, so on the up side of the little finger, near the nail, base of the nail. And the ring finger. And then we'll move to the middle finger. And the forefinger. And then the thumb, the top of the thumb near the base of the nail. And back to the chest, all over the chest. And take some deep breaths, 3 deep breaths. And then we'll do it once more. You can use the other hand. I don't remember what hand I was using. This one maybe. So we'll start with the side of the hand.
And we'll make it a little bit shorter. Just
shorter.
You're
Okay.
doing wonderful. It's fantastic.
Okay. We're getting short of time. Over the head, eyebrows, and the side of the eye, and under the eye, and above the lip, under the mouth, all over the chest. Under the armpit. And finger points. Ring finger. Middle finger. First finger. And thumb. Back to the chest. Take some deep breaths. And Robin, if you could, when you're ready, see how your SUD is and give us a number.
Yeah, 3.
3 from a 7. Great.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. That was
welcome.
fabulous. What was different for me from EFT is I didn't realize you tap 15 times. I usually tap about 7.
Yeah, I
Right.
tap much faster during EFT. I really like the slow.
I do too.
It's really relaxing.
Yeah, I do too.
Wonderful. Yeah. That was a great session. And as we'll remind you also that the questions we ask are often, what is your SUD? Is that good or bad? We often ask.
Right.
Because you need to reflect, is it good or bad? Do I enjoy this or not? Welcome
Okay.
back, people. Are you okay? If you're happy, smile.
Yeah.
We're going to close the rooms and ask people back because I think most are now done with this. Fantastic. Yep. So welcome back, everybody. Popping back into the main room. For some of you, this was a first experience. For some of you have been doing this all your life. It's all good, and you're welcome. So what we want to do now, because the breakout rooms are closing, we want to make sure that you're all okay, because we want to see if there's anything we need to ask or do or chat about or reflect before you go back and do a second one the other way around. So popping in back. So if those of you are popping, hi Placid, those of you who are popping back, if you are, if you have any specific questions or experiences that you'd like to share, you can write them in the chat directly.
Yes, so we're also here. I met even Camilla from Finland, so we could speak Swedish, so that was very nice.
That's great. Louis Carmi, I saw that you ended up alone. I don't know why. We had a problem with Yvonne's microphone, but she's hearing, so she's there. When you measure the start, can you identify a feeling or something general as it's to do with trauma? Well, like we say, we teach this as an emotional first aid, right? Which means, emotional first aid means if the emotion is there, you can aid it. So usually when you do therapy, you ask people to connect to something which might be hard for them to do, and that's a different skill set. In this case, you know, if you can think about it and it raises your SUD, you're good to go.
Yeah, and Camilla and I was also talking about it because she and Roland, they work in a school in the west part of northwest part of Finland, or so, and how well you can use this in groups, because she also teaches to immigrants and refugees, Swedish, or I don't know if it was it Finnish or Swedish and English. So to use it there before, because I also used to, I mean, partly work as a teacher, and doing it as a group exercise is wonderful, because then you don't have to talk about who is, you know, needs it and who does not need it. You just do it as a focus and concentration exercise, for example, because it brings people together, or before any meeting, that you do it just together. Yes, let's just do an exercise that I learned, you know, and see what happens. And it will enhance. It's like the research of Peter Stapleton, our colleague from Australia, who has done a lot on test anxiety in schools, and also how the grades have leveled up after starting to use this.
Yeah, and Yvonne says she does it in groups and it works very, very well. We'll help Yvonne get her mic working for the future, but yeah, that's cool. So you've all had an experience, and I think we can do this in a general view so I can see you. I think if you found it surprisingly easy or easier than you thought, raise your hand. If you found it exactly the way you expected it to be, raise your hand. And if you found it, you know, slightly challenging, raise your hand.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Slightly challenging. No, nobody. Okay, that's.
I see a question that has come. You know, I don't know if it's clear. I saw it before. Do borrowing benefits with TTT, and I have the wrong glasses on, so I have a bit difficult to read it. Could you just read it, Ulf, from Claire?
Okay. Do we borrow benefits with TTT and do any new actions to incorporate the triple warmer? Like we said, everything depends. It depends. So you can incorporate, you can add, you can subtract. The principle is that if somebody has an emotional response and you're using this as an emotional first aid to calm that response, once they are connected and the response, the feeling is felt, you have a time window of more or less 10 minutes in which you can calm down the system. So you can do this by tapping. And if you're adding other stuff in, you will find that sometimes it will be perfect. And sometimes the person says, you know, I like that part, but not that one. Because it's not, and this is not an exact science. It's humans. We are not exact science. We are very different from moment to moment.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, Alice, if this is a triple warmer, I'm a shiatsu therapist. I should know the points, but I haven't worked with shiatsu for a long time. So I don't remember if this is, and if somebody else knows the acupuncture points, say if this is the triple warmer on one of these sides, I think so, but I don't really remember. So you can just find out. I think this is part of it, so it probably is up there. But you can go, I mean, to any chart on Google chart, a triple warmer, triple warmer, and you'll find out. So we.
One more question that we got before we go, because we want to go back into the rooms now while it's fresh, so that you can go in and try again the other way around. So one question there, if this is so good, when would you go over to standard EFT? Again, the answer is it depends. Do what you're comfortable with. Try it out. Check the difference. The EFT big difference is that you are using setup phrases or affirmations in some way. The only thing that we would clarify is that when we work with people who have extreme traumas, a setup phrase is actually not a way to go. And also because it can be re-traumatizing just to verbalize stuff. And also when you are working in groups with people, they might not want to share out loud what's going on. Now, as an emotional first aid, it's generally not necessary to verbalize. But if you're comfortable with that and it works for you, do it.
I love this comment. I mean, this is what happens, connecting people, that it is Susan who writes that I'm an American in Israel and I got paired with the Israeli in Arizona. Wonderful. And that you felt like connected, you know. So all these things can happen. Even in these times of Corona, we can connect in this way. So that's really great.
And
So,
like Gwyneth says, she's the person on the earth who is best at explaining, in my sense, when words are necessary and not, because she has it very clear for herself. And EFT uses words to tune in when we need to, when there is no emotional response. When a person cannot tune out or is already tuned in, you don't need them. And Peggy says, sequence is not critical. The actual sequence, no. I would say no, but I will also say it depends. Maybe there is a case where the sequence is absolutely critical. I've never run into it.
I mean, when I was trained in TFT, we have different sequences. They call it, I mean, Roger Callahan called it algorithms, meaning that you could use even, you know, that's his way of doing it, use muscle testing to find out exactly which point should be used or tapped on. So there are all these different, it's just that for us, we have seen that working with these points works so well. I mean, we've been working since 2007 with this, or constructed perhaps TTT in 2008 or 2009. And we see that it's so helpful and it's so easy to remember. So for us, it isn't that we look exactly for anything. We look for something that works for many people and that you can teach to many people. So if you look for something more exact, you can go into any modality and you will find something exact. I mean, we have our sequence, and then sometimes we add something. So like in one of our cartoons, the Winky doesn't do the massage of the frontal cortex, and he doesn't put the arm here, because we found out after some time, this is very helpful. This feels like protection, especially since we also do this on others when it's not Corona times. So this is like protecting the front of your body for those. And the massage of the frontal cortex or the frontal lobe, I don't know what you call it in English. So that is, yeah.
So we're gonna get you back into the rooms to do it the other way around. If your partner has disappeared, we will come out into the waiting room or out here, and I'll try to send you somebody else. Louise was alone. I tried to throw Duff McDuffie into her room, 34. I will move.
Otherwise, you can pair Camilla with somebody else if it's possible to do it like that instead of me.
It's not that easy, so I'll just throw Therese into Louis' room because we need to move now, and that will take a lot of effort. Go,
yeah.
Have fun. 10 minutes.
Yeah, so some have already done it, okay, on 2. So you just have to do it again.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect. So it seems that Yolanda is not hearing us. It's on and she's getting the recording, but she's not hearing us. Elsie, are you joining the room?
Yeah, hi. I just was alone in room 20.
In room 20, let me check that out. Yes, you were. You were alone. That's a great country song. I was alone in room 20.
Well, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
No, if you're okay, we can stay here and you can do a session with me. And Alice is back because she was in a room. Alice, did you leave somebody stranded now? We can't
Alice,
hear you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, there was no one in my room.
Oh, there's an iPhone in your room. That's funny. But okay,
Yeah.
so we'll stay here because we were here last time. That'll be fine. We'll use this as the room, and Robin can tap us. But first, Robin has a question.
So I have the lucky job of going all over America teaching EFT and tapping to other therapists.
Okay.
And I love your Winky video. I love it. And I mean, I'm gonna start showing it. Okay, with your permission. I think you gave us general permission last time.
And no, general, complete permission.
Yeah, that's what I believed from the last week. Okay. Are there other versions? Like I wondered about a version for kids, school, maybe school sibling fight, maybe a little bullying. You know, are there other versions?
Well, which version were you looking at? The one for the refugees or the one for general?
I only saw the trauma one with the very dark trucks and the cages.
Yeah, there's a general one as well for kids in school. So on the webpage, selfhelpfortrauma.org, selfhelpfortrauma.org. That's the video with the trucks that is specifically made for the refugees is at the top of the page. And then under that, there's a text saying, here's a general one. And that one, we swapped the trucks in the beginning for just people arguing in the background as a general one, because, yeah, for that very reason. So the project was actually initiated specifically when there was this huge flood of this tsunami of refugees from the Syrian war. But then we changed it so that it could be also a general one.
Yeah, that would be a little heavy for kids.
It could be. Well, you don't underestimate kids. They've seen worse
things
on their iPhone from their parents since they were, babies.
Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Okay, that was my question.
Cool. So are you going to take me and Alice through a tapping session?
I am. Alice, do you have something? Do you have something that you have concerns about?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you think about it, what number is it on that SUD scale, 0 to 10?
It's about a 5.
It's about a 5. Okay. So I took notes. So I'm going to ask you to sit comfortably. And let's take a few deep breaths together. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And let's go to the side of the hand. And then let's massage your forehead a bit. And then inner eyebrow. A side of eyes. And under the eye. Under the nose. Under the lip. And then just all over the chest. We're going to go under the arm where the bra strap hits. And then we're going to use the fingers. We'll start with the little finger. Then the ring finger. Middle finger. Index finger. Thumb. And back to all over the chest again. And we'll take some more of those breaths, if you will. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we'll do one more. One more breath. And if you would, think about whatever it is that you were thinking about. Oh no, I go through it twice, right?
That's okay. We can do it. We can do it once now.
Okay. Yeah. And where are you now, Alice, with that?
2.
Oh, that's good.
2, yeah.
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 And here, we just noticed, and there's no right or wrong in this, but we started doing the questions right after into what do you notice, and then we actually ask, is that good or bad?
Oh yeah.
Simply because some people can feel it too, and the two can be different. It could be anger could have turned into sorrow or emptiness.
Yeah.
Or just frustration or whatever, because it's like layers on an onion. And asking is that good or bad puts the responsibility of evaluating the emotion back into the hands of the person. So that's part of the empowerment.
Yeah.
Instead of, that's good, you did well, it turns into, is that good or bad? What are you going to do without that frustration now, all the free time you had? What's going to happen, Because it starts a forward motion of thinking.
Yes. Have you ever had somebody have their rating go up? Because with EFT, sometimes I've had that where it goes up and then during the session it comes down.
Extremely seldom.
That's what I've guessed. Yeah.
And when it does, I always say, is that good or bad? And I say it's like layers of an onion, and sometimes like you might be getting a migraine headache when you're stressed because it allows you to take a break from what stressed you, go away into a dark room and just hide, so the migraine is helping you.
Break.
Yeah. And in the same way, feeling numb could help you from feeling lots of emotion. Yeah. So you take away the numbness, it's fine. It should be there saying, hi, surprise, happy birthday in the cake feeling, here's your anger that you forgot to address. So yeah, anything could happen, but usually it goes down. And usually if it goes from one number to another number, instead of going down to 0, in my world, in my reality, that usually means either you want to keep part of it because it's not safe to change your identity completely. So I'm not comfortable losing all my anxiety. I need some of it to survive, right? Or my anxiety is down to 0, but the 2 is something else.
Something else, yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
Okay. So
would you just keep repeating it? So if the person is at a 7 and then you do the 2 rounds, I just did 1 and they were a 4, would you just go right back into it and just say, let's try it again?
I would ask them, are you comfortable with that, or would you like another round?
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't. So,
okay.
So it's because sometimes as like from the therapist point of view, you're like, I have to succeed, they have to get to 0, right?
Got it.
No.
Actually, I'm okay if I get them to a 2.
When people come to me and they say, I need to quit smoking, I seriously, frankly ask them, are you sure you are smoking enough? Because if it's the only way you have of de-stressing in your life right now, taking that away is going to cause you to eat sugar or climb the walls.
Yeah. So, you said it's like peeling an onion.
Yeah.
So if you've got them to another level and you're not using much words, especially if you have a language issue, how do you know, or how would you guess that maybe there's, perhaps they were working on fear and now it's switched to anger? How would you pick that up?
I would say, do you want to go on, or are you fine? Is it good? Are we doing okay?
Okay.
Because the thing is this, emotions are something you feel in your body that your brain is trying to decode. What you think is anger could be sorrow. You have no idea, really. That's the funky thing with feelings.
What's the funky thing with feelings for us who came in?
Funky thing with feelings, we all have them, but we cannot demand them, we cannot control them. They just show up, It's like, I'm bored, what can I do? Open the fridge, nothing. What can I do now?
Yeah.
And that's why these techniques are so good.
Yeah, I see somebody who found somebody here. Hello, Erika. I'm in Scotland. Yeah, so some people who know each other who met here. So that's nice when you see it in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, great.
1821, we have 10 minutes left. We will be able to run over a little bit, me and Gunilla, but for those of you who have plans at the other end, people waiting for you with breakfast or dinner or, you know, whatever, we will make sure that we round this off in the 9 minutes. So Gunilla, do we do a debrief on this first in the chat?
Yeah, that's, if you just could write a sentence of how you found this, because we have like 9 minutes left. If you want to write one sentence, that's something that we can bring with us, or something you would like to change, or, you know, or you would add to, or just as the first thing that comes to your mind in this very moment. So we will
yeah. Eyes open or closed from Susan. Whatever the person is comfortable with. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. If you're not, keep them open.
Yeah, that is good.
Wonderful, great results.
Yeah, that's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we are super happy to share it with you. I mean, the best reward we can have is just to know how it works for you. So we'll be happy to have you send us an email, or, you know, it is like if you just send it on info@peacefulheart.
So Kathleen says she has a powerful thing she would like to share. So given that we do have a little short time limit here, Kathleen, please unmic yourself and share.
Thank you so much. I just want to say that the way that it worked with my partner and I, Rachel, thank you, Rachel, I felt benefits being the person that was, quote unquote, the practitioner leading. And then when we switched, I actually had something very traumatic this morning that had me in tears. And when I told her just that, I started crying, and we tapped and went through it, and it went from 10 to 0. And my sense was that we were tapping into something, we were tapping into the energy of what you're doing, is what my experience was. It was like I had calm, but there was, like in a regular EFT session, when it evolves from being at a 10 to 0, and there's an expansive sort of peace that happens, it felt bigger than what we were doing, is the way I experienced it. It was like, this is happening through your work all over the world. And there was this tapping into that grid. It was like really big and beautiful.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to reply to one of the things that somebody, it was the breathing, importance to hold the breath. Yeah, so there are many different breathing techniques that we also teach, many of them. We call this alpha theta. It is like, you know, bringing since the breathing is the direct communication with your nervous system. So we teach a lot of different breathing exercises. And we can also mention them in the email that we can send out to you. And holding the breath has a specific importance. It even has a name called the Starling effect, after a doctor who saw this, that you know, there's a lot of blood and oxygen that comes to the heart when you hold the breath. And there are, as you know, so many. And this is one of the techniques that we do. There's another one from Dr. Andrew Weil called the 478 breathing that you can look up. His name is Dr. Weil. He's American, and it's called 478. Yes, my dear.
Yes, just because we don't know if some people are going to be leaving us, we're getting so many questions about the certification here. So you will be getting a lot of this information in the follow-up email, but on the certification is a simple process where you report 6 cases online in a Google form, and you answer a science assessment, and then you have to send us an email, because it doesn't automatically bunch this up and send this to us. So once you've done this, you send us an email to info@peacefulheart.se, and we will bring you through the certification, and it is included in life. Yes.
Yeah, so we would like to share another technique with you before finishing, since we want to press out as much as possible while we have this. So it's just a question of coordination.
yeah, coordination.
Yeah, communication and coordination. So, okay, so yes, so you go.
So, well, short explanation. This is a brilliant technique that Gunilla came up with, because as Bessel van der Kolk says, you remember the flints, that when you get tight in your body, when you get stressed, you get physically strained, your muscles go together and you cramp up and you're no longer interacting with other people. So if you, in a playful way, can loosen up your body and interact with others, you get to try the last technique you're getting today, which is PTB.
Yeah.
PTB, unique technique. Let's try it out, Gunilla.
Yeah, okay.
You go.
Yeah, so here you come. Here you go. Wait. Yeah, so here is the, so you, can you, is it too light? Yeah?
No, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So it says, find calm and pass it on. So,
yeah, pass it on to me now.
Yeah, I pass it on to you. Whoa, oh, good.
There we go. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, okay.
You didn't take it.
I lost it. I'm sorry. So, yes.
Let's hear it again.
Sorry. Yes, so I'm just going to, so I'm sorry. I just want to share this before it's finishing here now. So,
So this is when we are in Gaziantep working with Syria Bright Future, Dr. Abu Hilal. It's not the share one, it's the present. And Abu Hilal, he works with refugees, a lot with children, and we trained him and the staff. And this is us doing.
Yeah, and there were Syrian refugee children that we were, and that's where we saw, because it is like when you engage, and the reason we use this balloon, pass the balloon, that's the PTB, is because when you have a balloon, everybody can engage in it. You can use it also as a symbol of when you, so here you go, I throw it to you. Oh, so, yeah, again, here now. Oh, great, yeah, good. You find laughter, you know, it is like, and you have to look up, you have to do all the things that we did in the beginning in this, and nobody fails. That's the fantastic thing with the balloon instead of a ball, because it takes so long time to come down, and finally everybody will engage. And we have these other, colleagues who have been using this also in their work in social service, you know, and using it also as a symbol for, you know, you fill in with certain resources and you can say you use them, and the balloon, you can use it like, you know, lifting and flying. But if you don't use the resources, the balloon, the air goes out and the balloon is just a piece of plastic. So you can use it in so many different ways. And like Bessel van der Kolk, as Ulf was mentioning, who has a trauma center outside Boston, who has written the book, The Body Keeps the Score, which is a Bible for anybody working with trauma. He says this, you know, just break the state of mind, and the balloon is a fantastic tool.
Yeah. So if you stop your sharing, we can get back to the gallery view. And there we are. This is everybody now. So guys and gals, I hope you've had a really incredible fun. We did. We will be here for another few minutes if you want to discuss and ask some more for a Q&A. But I would like to have the group photo. So if you all can simply just try to look cool, as we say in I'm a musician, you know, and when they take the group photo, we all say, try to look cool. So in a few seconds, I'll be able to take that image. My computer is thinking. There we go. So I will take the first picture now of the first gang, and you don't know if you're in the first or second gang, so you will simply have to look cool twice. And looking cool means waving your hands and smiling and doing crazy stuff. So just go ahead. There, and once more. Oh my God! Yeah, keep working. Keep working. Yeah, it will be wonderful. More of this. Yes. And now I have to do the second gang as well, and you don't know if you're the second gang.
Yeah, exactly. Or the third one.
Or the third one. Oh my God.
Yeah. Or the fourth one.
Or the fourth one. Yes. And as you're noticing, we are tricking you all into doing a fantastic exercise at the end here. I'm not getting into the second room for some reason.
Oh, okay.
That's live.
So we have to change to another movement, then we can do a bit waving, so like that. And, or do the wave like, oh wow, yeah, wow, wow.
Do you think you can get? Can you move your screen to the second page?
Okay. Let me see. Meeting window.
Thanks, Louise. Oh, finally, it seems it's woken up. Now everybody wave again. Quickly,
okay, again.
Quickly. This could work. Yeah, we love you too. Wonderful. Okay, so that concludes today's training. Please get certified. Please get listed on our page so people can see that you are a trauma tapper. Please share this to somebody. We will have a new training within short, and it will be announced by email to you. Also, we will have more or less once a month the possibility of joining a discussion group.
Yeah, or a training group. Yeah,
a training group.
Yeah, we're gonna arrange that. Yeah, that's what we see. That we think it's good to meet and just exchange experiences. So we will write you about that when we will have that. And then again, thank you, Gwyneth, for you are the initiator of this. So would you like to say something goodbye, perhaps, Gwyneth, our dear?
Well, thank you, you two, for all that you do. And I'm delighted that so many people have learned how to do emotional first aid. And I know that it will spread like a virus from one person to the next.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, Gwyneth. Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. If you want to write, 2 words about something you think we should keep doing or add to the next time, or something you're specifically wondering about, just write it in the chat. We will save it. And now, for anybody who still has time and wants to stay and ask questions, feel free to ask away.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
About the certification,
yep,
6 sessions with one person, or does it have to be 6 different people? Because I have a client who has major trauma.
Let's put it this way. It would be good if it's at least 3 different people.
Okay.
Because you won't be able to understand the difference until you have 3. 3 is a pattern, right?
Yes. And so it has to be TTT, because I've done tapping in the past. It has to be specific, like no talking and okay.
This is the certification in tapping. So in this case, it's TTT.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing that so much.
Oh, that's good. And somebody started the 21-day challenge. So that's fantastic. Doing the tapping morning and evening. So continue doing that and see what change you find. Yeah. So that's also something very fantastic to try out. Just do the tapping sequence in the morning and evening and see where you reach
has a question also saying, is there any benefit in tracing? Yes, there is a benefit, actually. When you do trace, when you're doing it on somebody else, it's like when you're at a massage therapist, they massage you. And then if they start somewhere else without tracing, it's like, oh my God, where's the next point coming? So tracing actually, when you're doing it for somebody, is really nice from that point of view. I'm sure there are other benefits as well.
Thank you. So if you're sharing this with the group, to all members for the certification, you have to read it because I don't see it.
If you are sharing this with a group, do all members for the certification, do we have to do 6 different sessions? Yeah, I mean, again, this is a learning experience. The idea with the certification is that you get a chance to reflect on what TTT does in your hands and what happens. So for that, you need to do either one session could be a group session, but I mean, to reflect, you need to do 6 different sessions in different time periods. I don't know if that's clear enough.
Good.
Can I think about the certification? Yes, you can think your whole life and do it 20 years from now. If we are here, we will certify you. Don't think of it as committing. Think of it as a journey. So do 1 session and then think about it again and do another. And before you know it, you are certified, I promise.
Yeah, and each one you can add it to the website where there is under the certification forms. You can just type in whatever you have, so you don't forget it or lose it somewhere.
And then Nora is asking, do you do the crown pull, we call it, even if this is stretch as well? The crown pull before tapping the eyebrow points or after? Will we do it before? And does it matter? We have no idea.
It's just a way of doing it from top and then going down. It is like that. So we just try to keep it in a sequence like that.
How long would a session take? We've done sessions in 5 minutes and we've done sessions in 3 hours. So again, the answer would be, it depends. But if the person is presenting a simple issue and they want to have a session for it, I would say a session could be between 20 and 40 minutes. I don't know. What do you say, Gunilla?
Yeah, I mean, something like that. Mm.
I have a message for Gunilla and Ulf. Keep your eyes open for some messages from me and my sister Camilla. And your answer, Ulf, is not "it depends." You will keep your eyes open.
We will, and we heard about it. Yes, of course. You are so welcome.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I did talk to Camilla, so in the second round. Yeah.
Oh, again, somebody says that if we are doing this with the client and there is an issue or it is not benefiting them, can we reach out to you? You can reach out to us regardless of anything. You wake up tonight and you realize you have a question you forgot to ask. Send it as an email. We might not respond, directly, but we do respond, and usually within 24 to 48 hours.
Well, no, my program is still on.
And also, like you're saying, if there is an issue or it's not benefiting them, a note on that would be, when people say it's not benefiting them, usually that's not really true. Because what it does is calm down the nervous system. Now, whether you like your nervous system to be calmed down or not is a different question. So it's sometimes you need to help people to realize what a benefit is for them with secondary and other issues.
We often say that, trust the technique. It does, it works. But if you any time want to discuss something with us, just write us an email and we will be happy to share with you whatever experiences we have. And if you have ideas about which is our passion, actually, it's to reaching out to different communities, and you have an idea and don't know really how to go about it, just let us know and we will do our best to assist you in mentoring, how you can do that if you have an idea of groups you would like to work with.
We will do the mentoring sessions. So the practice sessions and the mentoring sessions will be posted soon. And you can just join in. So,
and when it comes to dementia, my mother had, bless her soul, she in her last year, she had this vascular dementia. And I did a lot of tapping for her because many get very anxious, especially in the time when you are, going from knowing and remembering things to not really. So in that border time, or what you say, that, So tapping is fantastic for that. Can calm so much.
Yeah, and there was a question in reflection, which is part of the protocol of reporting a session. It's basically presenting issue, age, gender, SUD before, SUD after, and reflection. So how many words? Well, the shortest communication in the world, or one of the shortest one recorded, was when a very known author left the country because he presented his book and he wanted to find out how it was received in the reviews. So he just sent a letter to his publisher with a question mark, and he got a letter back with an exclamation mark. So that's a very short reflection, or you can have a long one. It's about you learning, and it's about making sure that we understand what you were thinking.
Yeah, I would say that often it is a reflection. It is like, it often comes by itself. It is the person says, what it was before and how they feel, and feel relieved, or you see something that the person is, showing as physical expression, and so there's always something that you would find. Yeah.
So Linda has a question. When you do a 3-hour session, are you still not using words except to get the suds and have them tune in? The answer is, if it is a 3-hour session, it is because they can't tune out. And it's very rare that we do that, but it happens. So that's what usually is the issue. you might have a client that has a really big issue tuning in to whatever it is, so it might take a really long time for them to tune in. But in that case, they have to ask themselves also, what are they actually trying to resolve? Is there really something to tune into? Is it a completely different issue? So that's part of therapeutic.
Yeah, and I mean, we both, I think, often has this conversation, but doing the tapping in silence and then conversation, isn't it? I mean, at least for me, that's when I'm client. So it can be, so it all depends on what the person wants to do, because the one that we are serving is the one to decide, you know, how things should be done, or say something or not say something. It's not that we say, no, don't say anything. It is just the option that you don't have to talk.
Yeah, so please talk when applying in babies. Well, when you're working with babies, both havening, which most parents do automatically, and loose tapping on the face can be fantastic for them to fall asleep. But you just do the tapping as a routine when you want them to relax. And they will react immediately, because babies do not have a grayscale. They are either thrilled or unhappy. So you will know directly how they feel about it.
Yeah, and you say orphans specifically. I mean, if you mean small or older, I mean, we have worked a lot with orphans especially in Rwanda. I mean, they were orphans after the genocide. And, you know, it is like just showing this, and again, do it in group or introducing it as a relaxation or just an exercise, you know, and you will find a lot of good stuff there.
Also, we have, you will get all the information necessary about the certification, so don't worry about that. If a SUD doesn't reduce, can this difficulty be related to my inner child that doesn't want to let go, or secondary gain, or can it be something else? You know the answer, Katie. It depends. It could be all those three and none of them. Usually, in my world, if I would take a wild stab at that, or a wild guess, I would say that if you are doing a tapping on something and it's not reducing, then maybe that issue is real and ongoing and is not ready to let go. For example, if you're standing in a house and the house is on fire, no amount of tapping will make you not want to run out of there. And some issues are like that emotionally, that they're ongoing. So a good way to find out is to ask yourself, is this something from the past? Is it still relevant or not? Because if it isn't, it will go down. If it is still relevant for some reason, and here there's another issue. If, for example, somebody did something to you a long time ago, and that was so long ago that you should have dealt with it and you should be over, should, which is not true, then if that person was never prosecuted or never, nothing was ever done, even that person is dead now, your nervous system could still be carrying a fear for that issue. So I'm saying there are many layers here of your mind that may or may not want to let go of that. So the answer is keep tapping on it and look at the different angles and ask yourself what it might be. I don't know if that's helpful for you, Katie. I hope so.
Yeah, with TTT for COVID is currently ongoing, but TTT would be help to reduce the stress that they are feeling just now. Yeah, of course. And that's a good point. I mean, it is like for those who are in lockdown and feeling, you know, you can be nervous about anything, losing your job, you know, how's the family, there can be tension in the family. If people could do more of tapping in the family, I mean, because there are more calls for domestic violence in these times, at least in Sweden and in France, that's what I know. In other countries, I don't know. But these things are happening. So anything that can reduce stress in these times, of course, very good. You know, it's like.
Yeah. And also the question, what about working with autistic children? The answer is absolutely. Done it a lot. Works really, really well. It's nice for them to have too. You might want to find out, because some of them are highly sensitive to touch. So you might want to experiment if they do it on themselves, or if they prefer the hand havening or the shoulder havening or the actual tapping.
What if they can tell me, because my niece is autistic, but I'm not sure she's going to be able to tell me the third level?
Yeah. So I mean, you can do SUDs in different ways. You can show pictures. You know, there are these smiley faces. If you just tap in on Google SUD scales, you'll find so many different images. using, or just like this, say, is it this much, is it changed, or is it like this, or a scale, or depending on, but images perhaps for a child like that could be something, you know, it is like, or if it's high, or has it gone down, you know, something like that instead of numbers. We use that a lot in other places also.
Yeah. And there was another call. Amy wants to go and share on speaker, which is fine. I just want to answer Bettina first. So peeling the onion completely. We talked about this onion that emotional responses are usually layered. So they're like skins on an onion. So you do a tapping session on being numb, and numb goes away, and all of a sudden you have anger. Anger goes away, and all of a sudden you have sorrow. And it's not necessarily like this, but it can be like that. Now, if the emotion that comes at a certain layer is very distressing to have, then it is actually a first aid. But it's more like a therapeutic treatment when you're peeling layer after layer. So I agree on that. Amy wanted to share. I hope I answered you, Bettina. Amy wants to share. Please unmic yourself.
Thank you. It's easier than typing a whole lot. I just wanted to share one of my experiences where someone's number was not changing, but we realized we had to back up. Where we started was too hard, so we backed up to address being anxious about anxiety instead of going right directly to, you know, the issue that was generating the anxiety. And once we addressed that, then she could do the next part. And then another experience I had that I thought was really might be helpful to other people is someone I worked with the TTT. When I said, can you lightly touch on something, it was too hard for them to stay connected to it. It was just too activating. So I said, just, you know, try to keep glimmers, and we tapped. And then her system got to the point where she could stay connected. It wasn't too overwhelming anymore. And then we were able to, you know, complete the session, and she resolved the issue. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's great sharing. And also, I would agree completely. If somebody comes with you with a great issue, I often actually do that. I ask them, is that the only issue in your life? Is there anything else? So that you have something maybe less high as a SUD, so that you can start with something safe and get the sensation that something can change. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, basically what the client wants is the sensation that it's not hopeless. I can actually change what I'm feeling, or what I'm feeling can be changed. Once that is in there, then the door to possibilities is back open.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and also physical pains. Many people work specifically with physical pain. Yeah, it was somebody who said that before. Was it in the chat? Somebody who worked with, I mean, for example, these migraines, which is or physical pain in the shoulder, or so often it's tension, and they get also, you know, you can be stressed also about that, and also focusing just on that pain, whether it's in the stomach or your head or the arm, and just try it, and often it works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we round up a bit?
Well, there was one more question.
Okay.
So that question was, about the physical pains. So just a little reminder there. There are 4 channels in which trauma and stress are expressed in the physical system, right? In the human. So thoughts, cognition, emotion, feelings, autonomous. That means reactions like heartbeat, like sweating, like waking up at night, and things that over time turn into a physical issue. So for example, over time, you will get migraines and they will become chronic, or over time you will find inflammations in your body that become a pain, or you get a back issue, a hernia or something. That could actually be a traumatic reaction that is manifested physically over time. So thoughts, emotions, autonomous reactions, and symptomatization or in the body.
Great.
Cool. Thank you all. We had a great time. We hope you had a great time.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And just let us know how it's going. That will be wonderful. I will send you an email after this. So thank you so much. And keep tapping.
Yeah, find
Yeah.
calm.
Pass it on. Okay.
Exactly.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And share, shout out in media. Tell people you enjoyed this. Please do.
We will. Yes.
Yeah, do that, please.